Hi everyone, it's Marcy here. I am a couple minutes early. I'm just going to check to make sure everything is... Oh, you are looking at my wall. Let me just flip that. Did I flip the screen here? Yes, I did. All right, let's just adjust this. Let's see here. I'm looking at my iPad. All right, bring this up a smidge. I am sorry that... All right. I think I'm okay now. I am very nasally today. My awesome husband shared his lovely cold with me, so I am very congested. So you'll have to bear with me and my lovely nasally voice today. Thank you so much for stopping by. As always, please say hello. Tell me where you're coming to me from. Leave comments. I love to hear from you. Share my video. Sharing is caring. And it is how I get new team members and reach new customers. Anybody that you feel that would appreciate live crafting and my style of projects, I would truly appreciate it. So I'm going to flip you around and we are going to get started. I don't think there's any news to share today with you, so I have no happy mail today. I'm a little rushed today. I was just got back from a massage, so I had to jump in the shower really quick. I had half an hour, so I haven't even had time to have lunch. So if you hear any grumbling, it is my stomach saying, hey, feed me. So that will happen after I am done my live. And then I am heading to London to Costco this coming Saturday. I am having my Grease is the Word party for my team members and all of my customers. Saturday afternoon, I've invited them to come and have a bit of a social. I'm going to have some food and some drinks and some prizes. And everybody that ordered from me from October 1st, 2017 to September 30th, 2018, that helped me get my trip. I've invited, so I've got a few ladies coming. So that is going to be a whole lot of fun. So I have to head into Costco this afternoon to get some snacky appetizers for that and bear the crowds. Costco is always an adventure, always an adventure. But anyways, I'm going to flip you around. So hold on just one moment. I'm going to cover you up. And remember, this is only the second time that I have done this. So it's going to take me a little while to get so that the transition is smooth and easy. So just give me one moment. Okay. And we have to flip you like this, right? Okay, so I see that I need to adjust my lighting here a little bit. Hi, Ann, how are you today? And I have to say that this lovely cold that I have, we were FaceTiming with my son Damon and and Allie, his wife. That sounds so weird to say. They are in Scotland right now. So we were FaceTiming with them on Sunday. We had our family Thanksgiving here. So while we were talking to them, Damon was sneezing away. I guess over in Scotland, Damon has the same cold, and he said that Allie was the one that gave it to him. So I found that quite funny that they've been gone for a few weeks and he's got the same virus over there. Okay, so today we are going to be using the beautiful Falling for Leaves bundle. It is a photopolymer stamp set and the Detailed Leaves Thinlits dies. And it is in the holiday catalog on page 45. And the card that I am going to be creating with you today, I took inspiration from both of these two cards here. I kind of mixed it up a bit, and this is what I came up with. So as you can see, this card here is, I've taken a bit of this card here, and then a few of the elements from this card here to create this, and then I have stamped on the inside. So we are going to create that. So let me just get things moved around here. Because this is a photopolymer stamp set, you need your Stampin' Pierce mat or some kind of a foam mat to give you a bit of cushioning, because these stamps are completely see-through. This is how I describe it to my customers. I say, if you can see through it, that means you need this foam mat underneath it, because it is going to give you a better stamped image. I know that some people just use it on a hard surface, but I find that my images come out much crisper and cleaner if I use my foam mat. And I'm going to be using, to create this card, I've got the very vanilla note cards and envelopes, and I have my envelope here so that I will remember to stamp it as well, because we want our outside that packaging to be as pretty as the inside. So I'm going to start by telling you first, I guess, these are the colors that we're going to be working with. We have Tranquil Tide, Old Olive, and Crushed Curry. So these are the leaves colors that I am going to be working with today. So I'm going to start with my Tranquil Tide, and I am going to ink up this, I'm not sure what you would call this. It's a stem with some berries or something on it. I'm not sure, but I am going to, because I've got my stuff going across the top here, my layers, I am going to visualize that I need to be down a little bit to make sure that everything is not covered by the my stuff at the top. So I'm just going to eyeball it and put one like that, and to move it in a different direction over there. And then this one here, I'm going to put over here. So, and then I'm going to just move that to the side and close this up. I am done with Tranquil Tide. Put that off to the side. And then next I'm going to come in with my Old Olive. And I'm just going to, I had cleaned my stamps off earlier to make sure that there was no fuzzies on them. So I'm going to ink that up. As you can see, I'm not using a whole lot of pressure when I'm inking up my stamp. That's how you get a lot of the ink on your blocks and all around. If you really push hard, you don't want to push really hard, because that's when you make a mess and then you get it all over your card. You'll find that you're stamping and you've got this big smudge of ink. You really don't need a whole lot of pressure. You're just tapping. Okay, I'm going to put that aside. I'm not done with that because I want to do my inside of my card and my envelope. So I'm just going to set that to the side for now. And this is going to be difficult because I'm not right over to see about my layering. But I've done a pretty good job there. And there, not too awful bad. So I'm just going to close the lid on that and bring in my crushed curry and my other leaf. So I just got this stamp set in last week and I had some playtime with it on Saturday. And then again, I did some yesterday, and this is the stamp set that my memory keeping this month that we're going to be working with. Last month we did Halloween, so this month we're going to do fall. There. Okay, so I'm going to close this up now, and then I'm going to bring in my little label that I'm going to use for my thankful sentiment. So I'll move this off to the side just for a moment and bring my old olive back in. And I use my grid paper to line up to make sure that my cardstock is fairly straight. That way I know that I'm not going to be stamping too awful wonky. Straight up, straight down. There we go. That looks pretty good. And so before I close this up, I am going to take my card base. I'm going to move this to the side, take my card base, and I'm going to stamp my leaves inside here. So this card here, I would consider it a case, but it's a not a copy and share everything. It's a copy and creatively edit, because that's exactly what I did, because I took some elements from the one card and elements from another card, and then applied the two to create this card. So, like I always tell you, turn to your catalogs for inspiration when you're stuck. The Stampin' Up! Artists, design artists, they do a fabulous job of creating and showing us all kinds of ways to use these products to their best. So why not save yourself a little bit of work and use the samples that are right in front of you. Okay, so now I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to just, I always like to use my bone folder, even though it comes pre-scored. I want to make sure that that line is nice and crisp, that I am burnishing. So, okay. All right, so I'm going to pull out from my detailed thinlits, the edgelet. And I am going to move all this stuff out of the way so that I can bring in my Big Shot. So as you can see, this edgelet does not go all the way to the end. I'm just gonna poke that little bit of cardstock out of there. This does not go all the way to the end. We are shy just a little bit. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to create the strip that goes the entire length. So let's just get all of this out of the way. My Big Shot is right here with my magnetic platform. Okay, so I have a strip of the Tranquil Tide, and I am going to lay it down on my magnetic plate and my clear cutting plate, and I'm going to line it right up at the edge. And this cardstock is cut to measure. All the measurements will be on my blog on Saturday. So as you can see, it does not quite go to the end. So for this here, because it is a edgelet, it doesn't cut at the end there. So all you have to do is bring that through once, bring it back. Okay, and then when you lift it up, you can see that it's given me a little bit of an impression there, but that's okay. I'm just going to take and brush all of these off into my garbage bin that's at my feet here. Oh, and I forgot my die brush, so I'm just going to go over here, and the Big Shot die brush is fabulous for getting those little bits out, because you're not going to get if you've got cardstock that is stuck into it, it's not going to cut through as nicely. So to get this longer, all you're going to do is make sure that you're all the way at the top like you were at the beginning, to line that up, and I can see the other part of my scallop right there. So I'm just going to make sure that that is just like that at the very edge, and run it through. And if it's not perfect, it's okay. It's handmade. We're not looking for perfection. We're looking for the thought that counts. That's always my motto. It's don't strive to be perfect. Just make sure that your thought is there, and it's better to have it send an imperfect card than not send one at all. Okay, so then I'm just going to take my snips, and because I didn't line it up 100%, so my little paper snips just there, and poke that. Right, like that. And then this end here. So there you have it. I have a full strip that's going to go over my card front. So now I'm going to bring everything else back in. I'm going to bring in my silicone craft sheet. I love this. I use it every day. I have a few of them. Oh, and I see another little bit that didn't come out. So let's build this card. So first up is this strip here. I'm going to take a bit of my Tombow, my liquid glue. It is my favorite, and I'm just putting little dots Little goes a long way. You don't need to have a ton on there. And then I'm going to bring this so that it's just covering the very top of my stems. Just like that. And then I've got a smidge hanging over. So all I have to do is flip that over and snip it off. And there. Okay, next I have a strip of designer series paper. This is from the Country Lane, I believe it's called. Let me just grab my catalog here. Yes, Country Lane. So this is on page 43, and I'm using the wood grain pattern here of this designer series paper. So I've just got a thin strip that I am going to apply. Hi, Stephanie. How are you? Thank you for stopping by. I'm just applying a thin strip to the front here. As you saw, I did not put a ton of glue, and now I am just covering up these dots at the top here. And because it's liquid glue, it gives me a second or two to adjust before it is permanent. Okay, so next I'm bringing in my Tranquil Tide, because I'm going to layer this on top of that. Now next week I am going to be live 2 days next week. Next what day? Tuesday the 15th, 16th. What day are we here? Yes, Tuesday the 16th is my 5-year anniversary with Stampin' Up! As a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. So I'm going to go live that day, and I'm going to have some specials to celebrate my anniversary. So be sure to come back on Tuesday, October 16th to join me live for another crafting session and some specials for my customers. Okay, so this is the braided linen trim. So I leave it on the spool so that I'm not wasting as much. And then I'm just going to pull and guesstimate how much that I'm going to be needing to create my bow. Now this card here with this ribbon trim is going to cost maybe a bit more for mailing, because it's going to have a bit of a bump that sticks out. And depending on who it is at the post office you're dealing with, some of them will say it's fine, and others will say, no, that needs a bit more postage. So I always bring things like that right into the post office and ask before I put any postage on it, just to make sure that it is going to go through fine, because I would really be unhappy to know that this card that I've taken the time and love to create got mangled in the machine at the post office. So look at how pretty that is looking. And then I'm going to attach that to my card base. Okay. And then my thankful here. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but depending on the way you cut your paper and when you're stamping on it, sometimes there's a little bit of edge that curls down because of the paper trimmer. So to get that to go straight, you just have to take your bone folder and rub it across all of the edges. And that will flatten that right down so that you don't even notice it. And you'll notice that I had a couple extra pieces cut just in case I didn't stamp that first one quite right, but I did a pretty darn good job. So I'm now going to take my dimensionals that I'm almost done this whole package here, this strip. So I'm going to take a couple here. And then I am going to tuck it right there. Okay, there we have it. So here is the card that we created today with my stamped inside, and here is my original. And then of course the pretty coordinating envelope. What do you think? So this is my October host code. Please use my host code when shopping in my online store. It allows me to get little thank you gifts to send to everybody who has shopped with me. And I guess that is all for today. So thank you so much for stopping by. Remember, I will be back on Tuesday at 1 o'clock for some more crafting with you and with some specials to celebrate my Stampiversary. So thanks so much for stopping by, and I will see you next week. Bye.